Alright, so at this point, well, since we're going to be signing keys, we need multiple accounts. So I'm just going to see what accounts are on the system that we could possibly reuse. Well, there really isn't any. So we're going to have to make some. So the one that I typically end up picking on is the Acme, so like your Donald Duck and your Bugs Bunny. A little overused here, because the key server is going to be full of them. So we're going to have to come up with something new. So there's Pinky in the Brain, so maybe Pinky. So just going to create a user, Pinky. Right, so Pinky's got an account. Just gonna verify the IP here. Gonna log into it. Alright, so this is a new account. So I should be able to just do a list sigs and absolutely no configuration files, no databases, nothing was there. So just by trying to list the the signatures that might be there, it's gone ahead and it's created the files that it needs just to make a small little repository. But if I rerun it, there's nothing. So we need a key. So let's go ahead and run the GPG full generate key. Same things as before, same key length. In my case, again, I'm just going to stick to 2 days. Alright, this time I'm just going to do Pinky. I'm just going to actually append demo this time. Okay, well, with this key, we have to send it up to the key server here. Alright. Try and find my mouse here. Right, so Pinky is up to the key server here. So now the Pinky here, we want Pinky to sign the S# key. So I'm gonna have Pinky go and download that particular one. There's a delay in my typing. And there's only the one key. So I've downloaded it. So let's verify that the keys are all here. And we'll see that we've got the key that we've made. And this is the other key that we've just went ahead and downloaded. So we're going to want to go ahead and sign that. So if you remember before when we were showing the web of trust of these people, it's gonna switch back to the Chrome here, and come on, Chrome, respond. So these are the people that have interacted, and they may have gone through different various degrees of verifying their trust. And in this particular prompt that you're going to see is well, how much vetting did you actually do to verify? Was it just like a key signing party where we don't check anything and we just happen to sign? We're checking photo ID. So see this ask cert level, and that's what this really pertains to. So here, it's up to you to define how much checking that you've done, and here we're just going to say I've done some very careful checking of this key. Would you like to sign it? Sure, we'll go ahead and sign it. And something happened. That's not completely visible. There we go. Oh, it's the tab. I opened up a new tab and that did it. Alright. So it is signed at this point. So now, with that, you could in theory just send it to the other person, but we want to be able to encrypt it and sign it as well, so they know what we are the ones that actually did it. So we can use GPG to accomplish that here. So since we've signed at this point, we do need to also export it actually into a file, and that is what you could send to the other person, but we're also going to encrypt and sign that as well. So let's go ahead and first just export it here. Do an export, and the armor is, so it's in base 64. If you didn't, it'd be in just plain binary. What do we want to export? Well, we want to export that. Alright, so when I hit the return key, let's see, it went to standard out. We need it into a file. The acceptable extension usually is .asc. So I'm just going to do a listing here, and you see I have no files there. So I'm just going to pause for a moment and let you you can pause the video. What would you do to save that into a file with the extension .asc? So you've had some time to pause it. So that was standard out. We want to redirect standard out into a file, and well, we're just going to say this is let's call it a Steve key .asc, and then if we take a look at it, it should be just what you saw before. That's his head, so it's just the first couple lines. So in theory, you could just send that to the other person. But here, we want to actually encrypt it and sign it. So I'm just going to go and do that. And the recipient now is who is going to receive it. Now, the question is, what are we going to encrypt this with? So, there are a couple of keys being used. Number one, there is the sign. That's going to use a particular key. But what key is this going to use? So I'm going to go ahead and put the recipient though. And pause the video. Think about it. Hopefully you've unpaused. It's going to be the public key to this particular user. That's why you needed to download that key first, because you can't encrypt it with that, but you also need to download it to sign it as well. But I mean, we need that. And then we're actually going to get prompted for a password. Because I get prompted for a password, what key was used for sign? Well, if you said your own private key, that would be it. That's why you are prompted for a password. That should do it, except for now I need to also specify what am I going to encrypt. You also need to spell the word encrypt properly. Alright, so there is a second file now, the file extension GPG. And you'll see that by using the file command, it just looks for magic numbers. That it said it is an encrypted key. So let's take a look. If we use this command here, just pipe it ahead here. And you see, in fact, it truly is some binary file. Now, word of caution here, so I mean, if you're not entirely certain what a file is, use the file command. Because if you were to look at this with a ASCII editor, it could potentially crash your console. If it did, the worst case is you'd have to disconnect the console and then reconnect. But in this case, it didn't, although I did only use the first couple lines. But that garbledness is because the file is binary and we're trying to use an ASCII viewer. Alright, so now we need to get that file over to the other user. Typically, you would email that particular file, but in this particular instance, I'm on the same machine, so I really just need to secure copy this thing over to the other user. So I'm going to do that so they can use it. I'm just going to actually, I'm on the same local system. What am I doing? Oh, this is two machines. Yes, I'd secure copy it, but that just reality hit me square in the face. I'm on the same machine, so why am I going to do that? So I can just copy this over. Now this is someone else's home directory, so I'm going to need to use sudo. Actually, I don't need it here even anymore. And it's going to go to sharp. And of course, I'm not actually sudo yet, so I'll do it the other way. I don't have rights yet. CHO rather. There we go. Yeah, definitely do not be doing this all as root. This was just a little bit of a hack to get that in the correct home directory. Alright, so we're back on this account. If I do a listing here. I'm just gonna. Thought I silenced everything. Okay. So now we need to decrypt this here. And then when we do that, there we have to enter the key again. You'll see it all went to standard out, which is not terribly useful to us. So we need to put that into a file. Again, this is going to be called Steve Key. And here it's just giving us some warnings here, saying that we can't check the signature. That's because there's no public key. So we had decrypted it. We can actually take a look at it. But the signature that we made was utterly worthless. And that being is, well, we need to have the public key to Pinky to be able to verify that this was in fact signed by that person. So going to go ahead and just delete that file that we just made, and let's make certain that we have a valid signature. So to do that, we need to get it. Key server. And then search keys. Can't remember if I put demo. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be pretty explicit. I think I know why. Thought I did that, but clearly I didn't. Alright, so we've now downloaded that key. Let's go ahead and decrypt that again. This time we can do the redirect. This time now, it says good signature. And then you have this warning here. That warning is because we don't really have any mutual trust yet. As you start signing and having some mutual trust, that will eventually go away. But we've literally just imported this one person, and there's no mutual trust at all. But we do in fact have the key, so we could import it. I didn't actually have that noted. Well, to the man pages for a second, because I don't have that memorized. It may actually just be import. There we go. So now, with that imported, list sigs. Alright. This is the original key here. Ultimate, so it's the one that we own. And you see that Pinky has it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign that, or send that up to the key server again. Alright, let's switch to the key server now. There. It just took a little while for it to register. So as I've mentioned in the previous video, every single key has a self sign. So that's just myself. The second one though, that should be Pinky. Just going to go ahead and click it. And eventually Chrome will get around to it. And you'll see, there's Pinky. Pinky, temporary educational key, and that's it. Now the challenge here that you've got is getting your third partner now to sign that key so it's all on one. So when I go back, come on, girl. So you're going to need to have your third partner then be able to download your key, give it back to you, and send it back up. So here you should have self sign, your partner 2, and then partner 3. And that's your challenge.